Alrighty, welcome back, guys. You guys have made it so far, and we're excited to get into some of the really powerful functions that will set you apart. So this lecture, we're going to be talking about using the left function, the min function, and the max function. And this is going to be helpful because a lot of times you'll want to group your data by time, or periods of time. So for example, let's go through one right now. Let's say we want to find out how many rentals we had each month to see, if each month we're growing, we're renting out more videos, or if there's maybe months of the year where it's slow and we need to do a coupon at that time or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're going to need to do that. We're going to group it by the number of rentals we have by rental date. So let's take a look at the tables we got and where we think we'll find that information.
All right, cool. So we just got the basic skeleton set up here.
Skeleton. And
we want to know how many rentals we've had each month. And I don't know about you, but the first thing I think of, the first table, I'm thinking rental table. So let's look at the rental table and let's think of, from this information, how can we get month by month numbers?
Why don't we just count how many rentals by each date, by the date there, the rental date. Let's just do that for now.
Okay, perfect. So we will just say, so they do have a rental date. So this is the exact day, year, month, day, time, hour, minute, second that the rental occurred. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pull from the rental table. So from rental R, you don't need to do it when there's only one table, but it's always good to, because if you're ever going to build on a query, it's good to have built it in a scalable way. So let's do r.rental _ date. So that's going to tell us, we're going to also group it by that. And then we're going to use count rental.rental ID. So this is going to say, for each of these rental dates, count the number of movies that we rented, or the number of rentals we had.
Yep.
There's not going to be a where because we're not constraining it by anything. We're going to group by one, and we want to know what day had the most. So we'll go order by 2 descending, and let's see what information we get from this. So replace this. We'll run it.
Ooh, Valentine's Day was popular.
Wow, that's interesting.
That was popular. That is interesting.
So
that exact time too.
So yeah. What a coincidence. I mean, 3 o'clock, 3:16 and 3 seconds on Valentine's Day in 2016, there were a lot of sales going through. And so I think this is a kind of an exception because in most databases, there aren't going to be so many rentals occurring at
the exact
same second. But I think the people who created the database would have been a little lazy and they might have copied that date down.
Or maybe they just love Valentine's Day.
We shouldn't be judging.
Yeah.
So, that's
not that helpful.
But this isn't very helpful and very actionable.
Because there's the time. That's just too minuscule.
We're not gonna make any decisions based off the hours, minutes, seconds of the rental. We want to know on a broader level. Maybe a month. We could try to do week or day, but let's just start with month.
Let's do that.
And that's the most common. I know David and myself, when we're running queries, I have the date. I'm doing stuff by month 90% of the time. So it's really important. And so the way the left function works, let's write this out below. So it's left, then you can use this with anything. It's most commonly with dates, but you can also use it with any string, emails, or any number.
Text. Exactly.
But so pretty much what you do is you say left. The first thing is going to be the field that you want to condense. So pretty much what the left function does is it gives you a segment, some leftmost segment of a value. Exactly. So in this case, it's rental date. So it would be r.rental date. And then the second thing, comma, then you say how many characters, how many spaces from the left do we want to count over and use.
Extract that.
And extract that. So let's go back here. And we're looking at this rental date here.
And you'll see that the date is formatted in such a way where it goes from most general to most specific.
Okay, exactly. So here, let's zoom in on this. And we see, so this is the year, then there's a dash, then there's the month, then there's a dash, day, space, and then the time.
Hour, minute,
second. So what we want to do is, pretty much we're taking this, and we want to take a segment of that represents the month. And so what we would do is we want to end up with this. So it's going to say May 2005, May.
Yep.
And so we want to say how many spaces over from the left do we need to count to get that information?
Let's count it up.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we want to take the 7 leftmost
7 spaces over.
Seven,
basically.
yeah, 7 left, whatever. Yes.
You know what we're talking about.
You know, you get it.
You're smart.
So we're going to put 7 there, and that will return. So let's just actually do this. So we can actually do this. Perfect.
Boom.
Okay, so that returned what we want it to return. So we want to put that up here. So let's see what happens. Right?
That's it.
You seem worried, David.
I'm not worried.
Perfect. Oh, right. So this is really great. So this is saying that July 2005 was our biggest rental month, followed by August 2005. And, June was a little bit below that. And it really fizzled down in February of 2006. I think all of the sales were made in the same.
2006, that's the year after. So it looks like we started our business in May of 2005. Yeah. We kind of quit after August, and then we started back up with a vengeance on Valentine's Day on February of next following year.
Yeah. So this data that we're pulling from is a little bit skewed, but you could just imagine for your own business that it would be much more actionable. And another way to do it, if we didn't want to find out what the biggest month was, we just wanted to order sequentially, we could remove that part. We can run it, and so this is in chronological order, and so we can kind of see the growth and the decline of sales month over month, and this can be really helpful going forward.
Alrighty, cool. So you learned the left function, and you'll be using that a lot when you group by dates. You want to group by which customers ordered last month, things like that. But what's also helpful at times is knowing that both extremes of a given data set. So the max and the min. So for example, if we want to figure out what was the first time a movie was rented and the last time it was rented, we can use these functions called min and max. So let's go through that right now.
Okay. So luckily enough, we can still use the same rental table. We'll need to connect it to some other stuff, but what we will do, so we want to know the min rental date and the max rental date for each movie. So we're gonna have to use the inventory table. And the inventory table content goes to the film table. I guess we don't even need to use that because we can just say inventory dot rental ID or film ID.
Sure.
Correct?
Yeah, if we don't want the title, that's fine.
Do we want the title? Let's get the title.
Sure.
That's more actionable.
It's more user-friendly. We'll recognize the title. I'm like, oh, that one was...
Yeah. So what we want to return is the max rental date. So we can go down here to rental. And we want to have the max day. So rental, r.rental date. And then the min... but we're going to need some where clauses because we got to combine these suckers. So we want to go r.rental ID. No, that's not
typo.
It's inventory. So we want to connect the rental table to the inventory table. And then we want to connect the inventory i.film ID to the film table. That should do it. And we don't need to order it. Because we're looking at each one individually, really.
Let's do one quick thing. Let's just add just for good practice, let's add the film.id there.
Yeah, okay.
Just because when you're working with your database, you'll probably want to always group on the ID, the unique ID, instead of like a title or something like that. Yes. So just for good practice, for us in our database, it seems like every title is unique.
Let's actually introduce something that's pretty cool.
Okay.
So we don't really care about what the film ID is, but we still want to group by it.
Yeah.
You can always group by things that aren't in the select clause.
Oh, wow.
So what we can do is say f.film ID here, and it'll still keep our title in our select clause clean without unnecessary. And let's title these.
Yeah.
Last rental date. And first rental date. All right, so this will be good.
All right, let's do it.
So just paste that in there, run it. Boom. That's nice. Okay, so let's say Academy Dinosaur. You can see it was most recently rented in August 23rd, 2005, but the first time it was rented was on May 27th.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so this is like pretty interesting, not super actionable, but it'll get you some good information.
Yeah. Yeah, and so to get more actionable, let's give you guys a brain buster.
Yep. Practice makes perfect.
Alrighty. Okay, so this is a double brain buster.
Double brain buster. Let's hear it.
Okay, so we need a boost in revenue. So we want to send a discount coupon to customers who've been relatively inactive. But people who borrowed a movie in the past month are most likely some of our more regular customers. And this brain buster just ends there. I don't think we thought this one through.
All right. Let's say, okay, this is what we want to know. We want to know what customers haven't rented a movie in the last month. Oh, the problem with that is we can't. Is it's too old. That was the problem. All right, we're stopping this thing.